Hey there YouTube, this is Rocco-the-Retro repairman coming at you again with another video. This video is entitled Basic Game Gear Identification and eBay Pickups Part 2. This Game Gear was presumed not working. According to some guy on eBay, I paid about $67.50 US for all the handhelds previously listed in the prior video to this one here. So basically what's going on is we got this knucklehead is in possession of any other Game Gear of this time. There in the 90s had bad batches of capacitors. Now, what's the definition of a capacitor? A capacitor is an electrical device used to store an electric charge consisting of one or more pair of conductors separated by an insulator. So, basically, here's a packet of capacitors I got from off eBay, but now I just buy a bunch and off a whole capacitor list for that, depending on the version of the board, and buy these in bulk. But a kit like this is about $8 to $12 US. But here are the capacitors, and the basis of a capacitor is the negative stripe, or the side with the shorter lead, is always the negative side of the capacitor. The longer lead is your positive terminal side. This is imperative when replacing capacitors. Now, I'll get this closer so you can see, but one lead is clearly longer than the other, and as you see, as I rotate it, you can see the white one there. Now, they'll be marked. The number next to the nomenclature UF, which is means microfarads, is your rating. So this is a 10 microfarad, and this is rated up to 35 volts. When replacing capacitors on any electrical device, it is imperative to meet or exceed the rated capacitor that you are replacing. It can never go under. It can go over the rating, but never under. So as we drive on here, we're going to open this bad boy up. You'll need a Phillips or crosshead screwdriver, as you see me already start using, and in addition you'll need a game bit. This one I got off a local online retailer as well. Man, I gotta get me one of those power drivers. Oh, this is a beautiful, beautiful Game Gear specimen here. This is the Lion King edition, or also known as the Sega Sports Edition one. They are the blue Game Gears. They're not rare, but they're uncommon. I don't like to use the word rare unless it's appropriate. So, it's uncommon, but not rare. The real, you want to know a rare Game Gear is, they make a Magic Knight Rayorth Edition, and it's red. Oh boy, is that a beauty. And they also made a Coca-Cola red one as well. So I'm afraid to use a magnet on this, even though it's not the side with the screen. But we'll pop that out from the inside. I don't want to whack the casing. This is, you know, 20 years old nearly. So you have you know, 3 cables here. This is the power cable that goes to the soundboard here, and then here is the speaker wire that runs underneath the board of the Game Gear but disconnects from the soundboard. And here is the main cable to the power board, which is right here. Very seldom does a power board go bad, but you always see the soundboard, all these little capacitors here underneath that shielding there, all need to be replaced. And the power board we're going to leave alone, because if it isn't broken we're not going to fix it. But signs of a capacitor failure, you know, usually you'll see swelling or leakage on the board. You know, very fortunate that I don't see any swelling, leakage, or bulged areas, but doesn't mean that they're not bad. But I know that they're bad and they're weak. The thing powers up, but I'm going to replace it. So, $100 question is how do you replace it? One, like I say in all my videos, stay organized. And that means I want to get my last screw. That was a straggler behind. 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect, perfect. Alright, got them all. Alright, neato. So what you want to do is you're going to take a pair of pliers and you're going to take the first capacitor. This one won't get in there, so I'm going to go and retrieve my needle nose real quick here. Alright, so here we are back at it again. So here I have a 100 microfarad 6.3 volts. As you see, it is the negative side faces this way and the positive lead is going to face in towards that wall. So very carefully I'm going to take these and pop up my cap, the old one, like so. And I'm going to slowly bend it like a tooth until the leads give. And I say bend it because if you tear it and you rip off your solder pads, you're not going to be able to throw another one in here without really working some magic. So I got a soldering station here, a really nice weller, so I just turned it on and it's already almost halfway up this power there. And we're going to go and add some heat here to these pads right here and there to remove the last bits of debris there so we can have a nice clean surface to work with. Ready up to 560 degrees Fahrenheit here. So a lot of times you gotta have a little bit of solder to get your flow. So I'm going to crank some jams up here when I get my flow. Alright, that one's clean. And that one too. So, I'll wipe off my tip here. Right? And like I showed you in my other videos, we're going to start with tinning this. Very nice. And go ahead and tin that area here. Alright, and quickly we'll find, I didn't discard my cap, so I know what I was looking for. So I'm going to find me 100 microfarad 6.3 volts. Alright. This is a 100 microfarad 16 volts. And as I said prior to, you want to identify which side is which. So my positive side is going to be going in like so. I'm going to trim my leads because you don't need to be a wise guy and leave these things engaged here. So I'm going to do that like so. And remember, negative is your stripe. That's going to be on my outside on this board. And here we go. You want to just flow it up on there. Don't bend it or move it until it's done. And as you can see, I didn't trim these long enough because it's hitting my volume knob, so I'm going to quickly remedy that up and trim them. Dikes here, like so. Alright, and here we go, at it again. I'll flare these out just a little bit so they stretch to this right contact. Solder in here. Alright, well, now that is a clean install. Not globbed on there, full connection, volume knob still moves freely. So, my advice to you is remove one capacitor at a time and stay organized, work one side, and then move on to the next. When you get onto this, you're going to have to remove this RF shielding. And what I end up doing is because these are surface mount and it's a tight fit, you're not going to have issues just having this here. Now, unless you're one of those, I like to keep it real and original freaks, and you don't have to trim this piece off. But if you want to save yourself the time and hassle, I would. Because the board's just going to fall right back in there and play. If not, you're going to have a really couple tight fits here, being surface mount capacitors. But again, thanks for tuning in. I think you guys got the basis. Don't forget to follow me, and I will catch you next time.